What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video about random techie stuff. So in today's video I'll be going over what I consider the top 10 must-have applications for a Windows computer. To start off, I'll actually be diving into security. Now, as many people already know, and for those of you who don't, Windows, while is awesome and popular and full of support and lots of apps and all that, is really never been known for having very good security because of all the millions of viruses and malware and Trojans and all types of rootkits that are all built to attack a Windows system. And even though Microsoft has worked hard at developing and increasing their security for their operating system, Windows Defender and their firewall and all that just don't cut it. They still don't cut it. Even with all the improvements to the browser security and website security and all that with HTML and all that, it's still not good enough. And if you truly want to have a secure Windows system and feel comfortable, you're going to need an anti-malware, antivirus, or both to from third-party application that's actually really good to keep your system safe. And out of all of them, I prefer one called Malwarebytes Anti-Malware. Now, for people who are actually familiar with this, Malwarebytes is actually the most popular anti-malware program in the world, and is the most popular for a good reason, because not only is it free, which I currently have a premium version, but not only do they have a free version, but their database is the most extensive, and their program, their engine, their anti-malware engine is the most powerful and damn near unhackable itself. And with this app, it's very lightweight, so you won't so you won't be getting all those annoying pop-ups and all that you would get with, say, Norton or McAfee or any of them, AVG, all of these horrible antivirus, anti-malware programs that, while some of them are pretty good, they're so annoying. You'll be getting the ability to do threat scans and all that, custom scans, hyper scans, deep scans on your computer. And a threat scan is something that I believe you can only get as a premium member. Maybe not, but it scans for places where malware is known to hide and all that, and generally gets a majority of it. And Malwarebytes is by far, statistic-wise, had the best success rate, generally getting 99 to 100% of all of your malware in your computer, no matter how messed up it is. And of course, you get your same features that you get with a lot of programs: quarantine, application logs, auto update, monitoring of your system 24 hours a day. All that goes goodies that you would get pretty much in most antivirus or anti-malware programs. Now, to let you know, Malwarebytes is not actually technically an antivirus. They do target more malware, and so therefore that doesn't mean that they can protect your computer from absolutely everything, but what it means is that if you do get malware specifically, they will take it out. And there's no other anti-malware program that's as fast or as good as what Malwarebytes does. So yeah, now on to the second application on the list, and that is going to be a program called CCleaner. And CCleaner is created by a company called Piriform. Piriform is very popular around the world, and they created this very lightweight and powerful application that allows you to clean out all of your junk files in your system. And by far, CCleaner is the best, and also for free. This will clean all of your browser's history, your system, your old restore files, your registry, tons of applications, pretty much anything on your computer it can find, and will clean them all out and could free gigabytes upon gigabytes of data, depending on how much you maintain or optimize your system. Most people don't really, or don't even know that they have to. Now, with CCleaner comes number 3, and that is Defraggler, which is also owned by Piriform and is the most popular and lightweight defragmenting software in the world for Windows systems. And if you use a solid-state drive, so for people that are using solid-state drive, and you know what it is, that specific hard drive, the way Windows is built and the way that hardware is built, you don't need to use a program like this. So if you had a solid state drive, you would never have to mess with something like this. But for the majority of people who use Windows, you don't have a solid state drive. You have a regular hard drive, and because of that, files are constantly over the years piled up and scattered all across your hard drive, causing your computer to run a lot slower. Having in your heart because of your hard drive having to look for the files and all that. So a program like this pretty much organizes them and allows your computer to scan through much faster, increasing your performance overall. Windows has defragmenter built in, but it's not really that useful, and Pureforms blows theirs out of the water, and pretty much all of the others. Now on to the next application on the list. Now you could choose from maybe Firefox or Opera or Dolphin, or you could use Spartan or whatever, but currently I use Chrome, and what I'm pretty much saying is you should use a third-party browser aside from Internet Explorer, because Internet Explorer, while it has been improved over the years, still doesn't cut it and is not as good as Chrome or Firefox. Or many other browsers, and so you want to have one because they all offer many features, and like Chrome is the most is very fast. It's run by Google and the most popular download wise, and I love it very much. I use Firefox on many other systems as well, and pretty much you should just have one of these popular third-party browsers instead of using Internet Explorer. Now, next on is we're moving out of maintenance and performance, and we're just going to get into more of entertainment-wise applications, and that is to start off VLC Media Player. Now, VLC Media Player is the most popular media player application in the world, and it is available on many different platforms such as Apple or Windows or Linux machines. It is open source and is also able to play so many different types of formats and codecs that Windows Media Player could never come close to. And they're all pre-installed, and you don't really have to usually download anything for VLC to run it, and it's very lightweight and requires very little resources, which makes VLC very amazing, and in all of those, the biggest reasons why it is the most popular of all of the media players in the world. Now on to image editing. So for most people, a lot of people like to just get on Instagram or use some app on their phone to edit photos, but for the more computer savvy or nerdy people out there who actually enjoy, or artsy people who actually enjoy making images and all that, you're probably aware of Photoshop. But for those who aren't, Photoshop is the most powerful and amazing photo editing, manipulating, animating tool in the world, and it was created by Adobe and owned by Adobe, and is just amazing in what it does, and is used by pretty much anyone, all professional, even multi-billion-dollar industries still use Photoshop to do what they need to do. So when you see all those beautiful images and all those cover girls and all that, and you look at the magazine and you look at whatever, you look at the billboard and you look at all these different things and all these beautiful photos and all that, they were probably touched up by Photoshop at some point. Yeah, because it's just that good. Now, for people who can't afford Photoshop because it's pretty expensive, and if you don't want to get an illegal download, there's an alternative, and that is GIMP, and that is actually what I focused my old channel on on making videos. And GIMP is a open source and free image editing utility. It's the most powerful next to Photoshop, and is available on multiple platforms, not just Windows or just on Apple machines. It is very good, able to do all that Photoshop can do, just maybe not quite as well or look as good while it's doing it, but it gets the job done, and it's free, and it's the best you have if you don't actually want to spend any money. So I definitely advise it. Now on to music. So there are a few music players in the world. Generally, this one has pretty much been the top dog, and that is iTunes, and iTunes is owned by Apple. Most people know who it is, know what iTunes is, and it runs seamlessly on Apple machines and on the iPhone and all that. Now, while it hasn't had the best rep for being the most responsive or the most productive when it comes to a Windows machine, it's still the best, in my opinion, we have, and has too many features and such an amazing store that no other competitor can really keep up with it. I mean, Rhapsody, what was it? A lot of other companies sort of got ran out of business by Apple and iTunes because of its prowess. And I haven't really found a media player that I found better than iTunes in years. So I still have it now. Unfortunately, for my Linux machines and whatnot, I have to use other options because iTunes isn't really that portable. Now, to you gamers, I very much enjoy games. I do not particularly have the application installed on this machine, so please don't get mad at me. But I wanted to put Steam, the Steam app, on this list as well, and that is because, and the Steam team is pretty much a community of gamers who created a larger community of more gamers, and then created their website, all that, and then made stores where they could now sell games and all that on multiple systems, PCs, personal computers of all sorts. And they're pretty much the most powerful entity when it comes to gaming for computers and all that. And they have a very great application. Their store is the biggest and has the biggest database of games. And if you're a gamer, you pretty much must use Steam. If you just sit on your Xbox, your PlayStation all day, well then you don't have to, or your Wii. But if you're getting on the computer, you've had to use Steam probably at some point. I mean, you had to. It's Steam. So you must have this application if you are a gamer and you play them on the PC. Now, on to video editing. So, for those of you out there who love to do video editing and all that, but you may not want to spend money for it, there's an application called Blender, and Blender is infamous for being the best and most powerful graphic modeling software in the world. So, while it's not quite as good as using, shall I say, some of the more professional options out there, it is definitely very, very powerful and awesome, full of features. You can do whatever you want. You can create beautiful builds. You could do game builds, all of that. Anything that a professional studio could do, Blender could do, just like GIMP can do whatever Photoshop can do. It just may not be as beautiful while it does it. And it's free. So if you like to do this kind of stuff, Blender is a must-have. Unless you can afford to use Maya or something like that. In that case, go ahead. Now, last on the list is one of my personal favorites, and that is Oracle VirtualBox. Now, there are pretty much only two really popular virtualization softwares in the world, and that is between VirtualBox and crap. What is it? What are their name? Whatever. Oh, just lost my mind. But whatever. I'll put the link in the info box, and then I'll be like, oh, there, that's what it was again. So, but pretty much this is VirtualBox, and this allows you to dive into other operating systems on your own computer. So basically, let's say you were on your Windows computer, but you've heard about Linux distributions, or you've heard about, or you wanted to run an Apple operating system, which is actually a little harder, but you could do it. Or you wanted to try a different Windows distribution, but you didn't actually want to install it on your own computer. Well, you can use an app like this to install an operating system within your operating system, and then just run it on this application, and then not have to worry about it harming your system or doing anything else to it. And it's an incredibly awesome and very useful piece of software out there. And for anyone like me who enjoys diving into computer stuff and also using this piece of software to do my reviews and my videos, it's incredibly, incredibly useful and a must-have, and is also free. So I highly support them. So that was the 10 what I consider, once again, must-have programs if you're going to have a Windows system. Maybe the last 3 or 4 may not be must-have, but if you are computer savvy or sort of a nerd, you probably will need them. And there are a few other programs such as Audacity or partition stuff. There are a few other apps that I would like to put on this list, but I think that this is 10 very key ones that have really worked up a popularity over the years, and I think they deserve credit. So I'll provide a link for all of them in the info box, so please guys do look at that, and please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace out.